everyone, welcome to our group presentation video. And in this video, we are going to share the topic about reporting. And before we start it, let me introduce ourselves. My name is Gusti, Agung, Petra, Alma, Jaya, and also my partner Komang, Shinta, Ardhana, Iswari. The definition of reporting. Reporting verbs are used to report what someone said more accurately than using say and tell. Quoting and reporting in our own words. When we report what people think or what they have said, we often report by our own words. We can use sentences that have reporting clause and a reported clause. The reporting clause can come before, within, or at the end of the quotation. In the English used in stories and novels, the reporting verb like say, reply, think is often placed before the subject when the reporting clause comes after the quotation. For example, she explained that she couldn't take the job until January. He didn't ask me where to put the box. Negatives in reporting. To report what somebody didn't say or think. For example, he didn't tell me how he would get to London. If we want to report a negative sentence, then we usually report this in the reported clause. For example, you are right, it isn't a good idea. It means he agreed that it wasn't a good idea. To report a negative sentence, we usually make the verb in the reporting clause negative. For example, I expect he won't come, or I don't expect he will come. It means she didn't expect him to come. Other verbs like this include believe, feel, intend, plan, propose, suppose, think, want. Reporting question. To report WH question, we use a reporting clause plus a WH word. For example, she asked me what the problem was. I asked him where to go next. To report a yes or no question, we use a reporting clause followed by a clause beginning with either of or whether. For example, Ray wants to know if or whether we had any photos of our holiday. The usual word order in a WH, if or whether clause is the one we would use in the statement. For example, have you seen Paul recently? It means she wants to know if I had seen Paul recently. What, which, or who followed by be plus complement. We can put the complement before or after be in the report. For example, who was the winner? I asked who was the winner. If we reporting negative question, we can use a negative form of do. For example, he asked me why I didn't want anything to eat. And then reporting statement that clause. Use a that clause in the reported clause. For example, he said that he was enjoying his work. After the more common reporting verbs such as agree, mention, notice, promise, say, and think, we often leave out that, particularly in informal speech. However, it is less likely to be left out. After less common reporting verbs such as complain, confide, deny, grumble, and etc. Reporting statement that clause. Some reporting verbs which are followed by a that clause have an alternative with an object plus to infinitive. For example, I felt that the results were satisfactory, and I found the result to be satisfactory. Other verbs like this include acknowledge, assume, believe, consider, expect, find, presume, report, think, understand. Verb plus WH clause. Some verbs can be followed by a clause beginning with a WH word. How, what, when, where, which, who, or why. For example, let's consider how we can solve the problem. I couldn't decide which train to catch. Verbs like this include arrange, calculate, check, choose, debate, determine, and etc. A that clause, example 1. I decided that I ought to leave. 2. Did you find out where to go? A WH clause except Y plus to infinitive. For example, I can't imagine what she liked about rock. Verb must have an object before the WH clause. For example, she reminded me what I had to do. Other verbs like this include advise, inform, instructed, warn. This verb can also be followed by object plus WH word plus to infinitive. For example, she told me how to play badminton. I showed her where to put her jacket. We can often use the way instead of he, how, referring to a third means. For example, go back the way that you came, or go back the way by which you came. Verb plus WH clause, we can use whether as the WH word in a WH clause. Whether has similar meaning to if. For example, he couldn't remember whether or if he had turned the computer off. Whether is commonly followed by a to infinitive to talk about the choice. For example, you have 14 days to decide whether to keep it or not. Verbs that are often followed by whether plus to infinitive include choose, consider, debate, decide, determine, discuss, know, wonder. Some other verbs to do with talking or thinking are not used with whether plus to infinitive include ask, conclude, explain, imagine, realize, speculate, think. In rather formal context, we can use as to with a meaning similar to about or concerning before a WH clause. This is most common before whether. For example, opinion was divided as to whether the findings from the study were representative of the population as a whole. Okay, the next topic will be continuing with my partner.
Okay, thank you. Now I will continue the presentation. Verb tense in the reporting clause. When the situation described in the reporting clause is in the past when we are reporting it, we use a past tense. I am leaving. Charles announced that he was leaving. I don't want anything to eat. Tom said that he did not want anything to eat. When the situation described in the reported clause was already in the past when it was spoken about originally, we often use the past perfect to report it. We have found the missing girls. Last night, police said that they had found the missing girls. When the situation described in the reported clause in a permanent, habitual situation or is relevant at the time we are reporting it, we use a presentation of the verb in the reporting clause. There were things that he spent about 5 minutes on a tropical appointment at a pattern. However, when we use a past tense as the reporting clause, we can use a present of past tense in the reporting clause. She agreed that Scar was the best person for the job. Verb tense in the reporting clause. When we reporting something that's what was said or thought in the past, the verb in the reporting clause is often in the past tense. Just before her reading, she revealed that she had been married before. When we report content, news, opinions, actresses, one we can use a presentation for the verb in the reporting clause. She said that shall ours have to close the shop on business improves. We often prefer a parent's rather than a past tense. 1. To report information that we have been through out hard but do not know whatever it's your. Example, I hear you right. Are you happy with your job? Number 2. To report what is said with some authority. Example, the law say that New York under the age of 16 can buy a lottery ticket. Number 3. To report what too many people say. Example, a fairy teacher leaves bucket to tell me that standards of spelling are in the class. Reporting after suggestion after intention. Verb plus object plus to infinitive clause or to infinitive clause. Example, I'll take the children into town. Afterward, verb followed is clearly be a to infinitive clause. Include agree, demands, guardians, promise, swear, threaten, volunteer. And object plus to infinitive clause. Example, you shall take to the job. Rest of the verb will be a object to infinitive include adverbs, ex, call, and set. Reporting after suggestion orders intonation. Verb plus that clause or verb plus to infinitive clause. Example, she promised to arrive on time. Verb like this can include agree, expense, guarantees, have promise request. With a that clause, the promise exists and the present reasons to in the report clause made the difference. Example, she promised that she would be late. Verb plus that clause, not verb to infinitive clause. After the verb insists, order say, and suggests we as to clothe but not, and to infinitive clause. Example, the team captain said that I had to play in goal. Adverb and order can you with object and to infinitive clause or a that clause. Example, I advertised that she should exist. Reporting after suggestion, order, intonation. Verb plus to infinitive clause, not verb that's clause. Example, the children went to come with you the cinema. Order verb like this include long after reverse volunteer. When we report a suggestion or when someone else make do, we can use reporting clause with adjectives, propose, recommend, or suggestion. Follow it be a in clause, a further than a that then a clause. Example, the lecturer recommended reading a number of books before the exam. Modal verb in the reporting. We sometimes use a modal verb in report when this is modal verb in original. Example, you're not allowed smoke here. She told me that smoke there. Will usually can't to talk. Can you call and make to me? However, if in situation we are reporting tilde x in her still in the future and the verb in the reporting clause has a parent tense. We was will, can, and may in the reporting clause. Example, Bill is Swiss all Christmas. She tell me she'll be in Swiss at Christmas. If the situation we are reporting still exists or is still in the future and the verb in the reporting clause, here are a past tense that we can use word and will, can, could or make in the reporting class. Example, the problem can be solved. The side the problem could be solved. When Sal is using talk about the future, we use would in the report. Example, I shall all call you on Friday. She told me so she would call me on Friday. When must I use to say that it's necessary to do something? We can usually use actual, must, or had to in the report. Although had to is more natural is the speech. Example, you must be home by 7 o'clock. She said, I must had to be home by 7 o'clock. Okay, that's all about the reporting material. And now we have the exercise for you all and you can answer it below. Thank you.